Carolinas for more than 25 years, and the farmer seems entirely satisfied. The warehouse is owned and operated by Robert.
2, 3, 4, 5. Look at that. 49.
The youngsters just grow up in the industry. The Carolina warehouse, owned by Jem Musgrave, Guy Best, and J.G. Campbell, is operated by Bruce Smith. The keeping of accurate records is an important and painstaking part of the sale. Then the tobacco is carried to the warehouse floor, its weight carefully noted. During the average tobacco sale, thousands of pounds of tobacco are purchased by the major companies by the raising of an eyebrow or some other almost imperceptible movement of the experienced buyer. Carolina Warehouse, having completed its second season, is firmly established in Goldsboro. More visiting to do as we look in on the 10 Warehouse, a familiar Goldsboro landmark. Another sale is in progress under the watchful eye of the owner-operator, O.L. Littlejohn, a well-known personality. With the clearing of the floor, basket after basket passes from the farmer to the nation's leading tobacco companies. With 20 years establishment, 10 Warehouse is open the year round. S.B. Hill's Farmer's Warehouse is our next stop. As we enter, we find the usual activity that precedes the sale and the usual conversation. Once again, the voice of the auctioneer rings out, and the leaf is the center of all activity. The Goldsboro market has become quite a tourist attraction. Thousands of visitors from all sections of the country have come to witness such scenes as this, and to marvel at the precision of the operation. Even the buildings themselves are a source of wonder. Most of the tobacco sold on the Goldsboro market is of the golden variety and is used chiefly for cigarettes, eventually turning up in the package of cigarettes you buy. Much office work and many records constitute an important phase of the sale. And with the resumption of the sale, we leave this portion of the business activity of Goldsboro. Although of great importance, the city has many other facets of commercial and industrial life that we wish to review. Farmers from all points of the South bring their tobacco to this great center, and the market is steadily growing. The farmer goes to the payoff window, where he's given payment for his season's work. In the furtherance of fraternal life in Goldsboro, there are many organizations that foster brotherhood and civic betterment, such as Rotary, Kiwanis, Civitans, Lions, Junior Chamber of Commerce, and the Business and Professional Women's Club, as well as the Federated Women's Club. Shown here are the Kiwanians. At such meetings, many projects for betterment are brought to successful conclusion. Under the direction of the Goldsboro Tobacco Board of Trade, the processing of tobacco is an important operation in the economic system of the city. Companies engaged in this industry are the Goldsboro Tobacco Company, Walbrook Tobacco Company, Green Packing Plant, and the J.P. Taylor Company. Let's look in on the J.P. Taylor Company's plant. Here, as in the other plants, we start our tour in the receiving room. Principal among the operations is the careful and scientific drying of the tobacco. Placing the leaf on sticks, it is carried by automatic conveyor to the ovens, which are thermostatically controlled to maintain a fixed degree of heat. The tobacco starts on its way through the huge ovens in the first step of the process. And now, dried to just the proper degree, it leaves the oven to be packed in the big hogsheads. The hogsheads are either placed in the warehouse for aging or shipped to other plants and manufacturers. Part of this huge supply goes through a further refining process, which calls for the removal of stems and other portions of the leaf not found in the finished product. These operations constitute a combination of hand and machine work and furnishes gainful employment for many people in and around Goldsboro. Many of the machines and conveyor systems are designed and made by the company for their own special use. The workers standing by the rapidly moving conveyors become very adept at the job of hand removing foreign matter from the processed tobacco, so that only the choice portions of the leaf reach the consumer. Closely allied to the tobacco industry in the Carolinas is the growing and processing of cotton. A leader in the manufacture of cotton yarns is the Borden Manufacturing Company. Enough yarn is produced yearly in this plant to encircle the entire world. Founded by the Borden family in 1900 and now operated by a group of Goldsboro citizens headed by E.B. Borden, the plant now employs 225 people. Established in 1882 by pioneering citizens, the Southern Cotton Oil Company has been in continuous operation for 67 years and is recognized as one of Goldsboro's leading and important industries. The large and busy plant is now managed by Mr. W.V. Westmoreland. From the unloading of the farmers' trucks through the various processes, the ginning of cotton is accomplished by the latest methods and equipment, assuring clean, properly baled cotton. Through the latest scientific methods, this cotton has gone through a super cleaning and drying process to fully condition it before ginning. Through constant research, a high standard is continuously maintained and products are steadily improved. After weighing, the bale is ready for the farmer and the open market. The cotton seed from which the oil is extracted is placed in a storage building to await further processing. From the storage room, the seed is carried by conveyor to the shaker, and then to the linter room and a maze of machinery that starts to prepare the cotton seed for the extraction of the oil. Constant maintenance keeps the equipment in top mechanical condition at all times. And now to the oil mill for crushing. After which the seed is formed into cakes, another step closer to extracting the oil. The cakes are ready for pressing. Under terrific pressure, the oil is squeezed from the cotton seed. Constant chemical analysis maintains the Southern Cotton Oil Company's product at top level. Another pioneering company of Goldsboro is the Wayne Agricultural Works, established in May of 1888 in its present location on South John Street. Their products enjoy nationwide acclaim. As well as wood products, they manufacture fireplace furnishings, farm implements, pumps, and building specialties. Here we visit the foundry and large casting section. The making of Wayne pumps constitutes an important activity in the plant, pumps that are widely used throughout the entire eastern United States. In the brass foundry, many items are made to adorn the fireplace of the well-appointed home: andirons, fire sets, fenders, firelighter pots, and other accessories. When the molds are made, the molten brass is poured, and then the castings are removed. After the brass is turned, ground, and buffed, it emerges in lasting beauty and flawless finish. The Wayne Agricultural Works employs 130 to 180 people regularly, drawn primarily from natives of Wayne and adjacent counties. These employees operate the iron, brass, and aluminum foundries, the machine and woodworking shops, and the plating plant. A purchasing department is maintained. The president is D.W. Davis, Sr., shown with his son, who is manager. J.C. Tolson is vice president. Goldsboro's largest single industry is the Atlas Plywood Corporation, which provides employment for approximately 500 men and women. As the name implies, the basic product manufactured is plywood, which is used almost exclusively in the making of plywood packing cases, used for a variety of items, including textiles, refrigerators, automobiles, and military equipment for export. In producing the veneer, the block is carried to the lathe by an electric hoist and adjusted on spindles. The knife travels into the block as it is rotated, reducing the cylindrical solid block to a large sheet of veneer. Then comes the clipping operation, where veneer is cut to size requirements. As the veneer is green, it must be dried before gluing, a process accomplished in about 7 minutes. As plywood is composed of 3 pieces, face, center, and back, the center piece receives a spread of glue on each side. All that is needed now is the application of pressure, which we see being applied by huge machines, bonding the sections. The panels are accurately trimmed to size, and then returned to the dryer for removal of excess moisture. Now the completed sides and ends, called shooks, are quickly assembled for delivery. They're carried from the nailing machines to the box cars for loading. Outstanding in civic achievement is the energetic Junior Chamber of Commerce. This group of young businessmen have shown a willingness to work unceasingly for any movement aimed at the betterment of the people of Goldsboro. Their field of endeavor embraces all forms of advancement. "46 churches representing 19 denominations serve the people. Their dignified and stately buildings amid restful surroundings are an invitation to better living. They stand as a tribute to the city's morality, inviting native and traveler alike to a period of meditation and worship. The Goldsboro Hospital offers comfort and care to those in need of medical attention. Service, always a factor in the advancement of any community, is typified in the automotive field by the modernly equipped shop of the Hood Motor Company. Louis E. Mariner is well qualified to be service manager. In the spacious showroom, we can inspect the beautiful modern designs of the new Studebaker. Recognized as the pioneers in today's body design, the makers of the Studebaker have added many aids to pleasant motoring in their latest product. Hood Motor Company is owned by W.G. Hood Jr. and Sr. A complete parts department is maintained. Their new home furnishes the proper setting for the dignified beauty of design displayed on their floors. If, as the slogan suggests, there's a Ford in your future, you'll soon be meeting the personnel of Community Motors Corporation, your Goldsboro Ford dealer. 1949 is a year of great changes, and Ford encourages the trend with a brand new car from bumper to bumper, still keeping in mind the factors that brought them fame: beauty, utility, and economy. As you're advised to bring your Ford back home for service, this is its Goldsboro home. Its utility plus comfort has made the station wagon a big favorite in the automotive field. Extra passengers or an unexpected hauling job are no problems with this all-purpose conveyance. Perkins Motor Parts Incorporated has seen many changes in motors. In their 30 years of repairing and rebuilding motors for town and farm use, they've accumulated the answers to practically all problems in their field of activity. A diesel cylinder head is permanently repaired by the super weld process. With the use of precision-aligned boring machinery, positive crankshaft alignment is made possible. A staff of 12 skilled workers assures the motorist of Goldsboro and surrounding territory that his motor problems will find a ready solution by these capable mechanics, seen here in the assembly department. When your motor is rebuilt by Perkins, it looks and operates like new. Quality parts are always available. H.W. Perkins, shown with his assistant, Mrs. O.L. Bagley, offers Goldsboro a genuine service. Another important Goldsboro commercial activity is the production of fertilizers. This industry is usually conducted as part of the operations of the cotton oil industry. Here we visit the Fremont Oil Mill Company, in operation since 1902. Its president is J.B. Lane, E.R. Lane, vice president, and Mrs. Percy Lane Hayes, secretary and treasurer. President J.B. Lane is actively interested in the plant's management. A competent sales department keeps deliveries moving throughout the year. To become fully acquainted, we might look in on the office staff. This is the fertilizer building at the Fremont Oil Mill, home of Farmco and Wayne Fertilizers. Cottonseed meal fertilizers contain phosphoric acid, potash, and nitrogen, 3 of the elements essential for plant growth and especially suitable for garden crops. Much of the fertilizer shown being placed in bags will be used to enrich the soil for the Carolinas' famous tobacco crop, showing how the two crops, cotton and tobacco, aid in each other's growth. The younger Mr. Lane keeps constant check on this vast activity. The future of any city is vested in its young people. Their education is a prime responsibility of Goldsboro citizens. Wayne County's educational systems are among the best in this area. There are 12 modern buildings in the Goldsboro system. In the realm of fashion, an important segment of social life, Goldsboro has reason to be proud of its facilities. Neil Joseph's Ladies' Shop is an outstanding example of this style service. Although June is traditionally recognized as the month of weddings, lovely bridal gowns are in evidence the year round at this fashion center. Here's a creation designed to assure extravagant comment. There's no need to leave Goldsboro to be fully aware of the latest dictates of fashion. Exclusive models from the style headquarters of the world are brought to the city. At Neil Joseph's, 25 years' experience has taught its buyers the art of careful discrimination in the choice of ladies' apparel. Is to maintain a well-groomed appearance. The Gold Wayne Laundry, headed by A.G. Heron and his staff, fill this need. Dry cleaning to keep good clothing looking its best, to maintain the well-dressed appearance. A complete service to launder clothing and household linens. Your clothing identified by invisible markings. Modern machines to gently and thoroughly remove all traces of soil. Enormous presses to iron large pieces to wrinkle-free perfection. And important to the men folks, the latest advancements in the art of ironing shirts. The Southern Towel Supply Company, under the same management, has supplied a linen service to a large portion of eastern North Carolina for 20 years. The story of the progress of Goldsboro would be incomplete without mention of the A.T. Griffin Manufacturing Company. Early advocates of reforestation, the Griffin Company constantly replaces trees used in the making of their products. The problem of raw materials is solved by this program. Scenes such as this are reminiscent of logging operations in the Great North Country. The trimmed logs are loaded on trucks in the field to be transported to the mill. On the way to the mill, we might stop in at the office where all operations are coordinated. Mr. A.T. Griffin, who founded me in 1897, is still actively engaged in its management. Acres of ground are utilized in the growing and milling operations. The sawmill is equipped to speed production. This method of trimming the logs is an example of efficient and speedy operation. Through the use of modern lifts, the lumber is transported from place to place and carefully stacked in the yard with no back-breaking labor. In final preparation for mill work, the lumber is killed dry. Here the wood goes through the huge sanding machines to emerge with satin smoothness. The planer dresses the boards to desired thickness in a single time-saving operation. The result, fine cabinet and mill work to enhance the beauty of modern buildings. Another pioneer in the construction industry is the W.P. Rose Supply Company. 40 years of successful operation in Goldsboro in the making of brick and concrete pipe identifies this company as suppliers of vast importance to the seemingly unending program of construction in the Carolinas. Through long experience, aided by modern machines, the ingredients are carefully blended to produce a superior product. The W.P. Rose Company contributes much to making Goldsboro a thriving center of building activity. Here we see the powerful machine that molds the brick, exerting tremendous pressure to make a product to withstand the ravages of time and elements, a product to build a greater city. The bricks now enter the kiln. Concrete pipe, made in sections, is in constant demand for drainage, sewerage, and many other uses. The sections are carried to the pipe yard for drying. When the finished brick is removed, back when Goldsboro boasted of a population of about 3,500, the great building expansion was visualized by other people of the section. Dewey Brothers, founders and machinists, was founded in 1885 by Charles Dewey, and through the years has been an important segment of the city's life in the field of construction. Large structural steel sections are designed and prefabricated in the vast plant. When completed, they're transported to the building scene and hoisted into place a section at a time, reducing by days the time required to complete the building project. The supervisory staff is well experienced. Through the use of modern high-efficient machinery, the hard steel is accurately cut and formed in the Dewey Brothers machine shop, work requiring extremely close tolerances. The making of patterns is an important task, requiring exacting measurements and an equally exacting knowledge of the art. The molding of metals is a very interesting phase of the plant's activities. After the molds are made, the fiery liquid metal is poured, and from the mold emerges the solid metal object. Painting is quickly accomplished on many pieces by the dip method. Dewey Brothers' store is entirely modern. Steel sash, another much-needed product. The engineering department is always busy interpreting complicated blueprints and laying out plans for construction. Mr. Dewey confers with plant manager Helms. Mr. Ernest M. Dewey is president. The W.H. Jenkins Company is another of Goldsboro's industries engaged in the fabrication of structural steel and iron. Tons of steel are easily handled with proper equipment. Duplicate parts are produced simultaneously by the pantograph method. The plant is owned and operated by W.H. Jenkins, an authority on steel construction and ornamental iron work. The Jenkins Company also distributes the well-known Fenestra steel windows to builders of this section. Mr. Jenkins plans another construction job with his foreman. A popular meeting place for the people of Goldsboro is the Health Center and Community Building. The people of the city show their appreciation for forward-moving projects by their wholehearted cooperation in attending community affairs arranged in their interest. The Farm Building. Goldsboro's diversified industry includes the manufacture of furniture by the Kemp Specialty Furniture Company, helping the city's fine employment record. As well as producing furniture that finds a ready market, the Kemp Furniture Company procures the lumber and veneer used in making their products entirely from local sources, from suppliers in and around Goldsboro. Furniture makers of long experience handle the efficient woodworking machines and assemble the various parts. Stains and colors are sprayed on the finished pieces. Mr. W.P. Kemp has been at the helm of this flourishing concern for 17 years of operation. A successful community is a well-fed community. And in Goldsboro, the source of supply in meat products is right at home. The Elliott Packing Company, operating since 1938, employs 25 people to fill the need. A view of the chill room shows volume. The processing by scientific sanitary methods shows efficiency. Elliott's fresh sausage is preferred by folks within a radius of 75 miles of Goldsboro. The Elliott Packing Company also operates the Goldsboro Hog Market, assuring constant freshness of product. When the meat is ground and seasoned, the sausage is stuffed and ready for the table. Can't you just smell them in the pan? Bill Elliott personally supervises operations. The school has a modern building supervised by an extremely capable faculty. It is fully accredited and is considered on a par with the best in North Carolina. School activities, both academic and social, are entered into with zeal by the large student body. Many friendships that will continue throughout life have their beginning in the pleasant surroundings of the classroom. Extracurricular activities are highlighted by an outstanding football team. These boys are developing sound bodies and agile minds, as well as the great American tradition of fair play and sportsmanship. The 4-H Poultry Project, sponsored by the Sears Roebuck and Company Foundation, is an outstanding activity planned for 4-H boys and girls interested in poultry work. The boys and girls, with their leaders, study all phases of poultry raising, starting with the newest methods of incubation. 100 sex chicks are given each March to each of the 11 boys and girls selected to carry on the project. The club members who follow the instructions of the county farm agents through to completion, practicing the proper methods of brooding, feeding, housing, sanitation, and management, should receive a fair profit from their labor and develop their knowledge of poultry production. A show and sale is held each year with ribbons and prizes for the members. The Sears Roebuck Company Foundation is doing an excellent work. In speaking of Goldsboro's food supply, we should mention an establishment that enjoys wide acclaim for excellency. Griffin's Barbecue had the distinction of serving a special barbecue dinner for Army Secretary Kenneth Royal in Washington, honoring General Eisenhower, as well as dinners for Dr. Norton and the State Board of Health at Raleigh. Such popularity is deserved. Perhaps more important is the fact that the people of Goldsboro have discovered that extra degree of excellence that has made the Griffin Dining Room a mecca for fine foods. Beside barbecue, there's the golden brown chicken, appetizingly prepared and served. The South's own barbecue has a staunch champion. An outstanding group of youthful radio personalities is represented in the Goldmaskers, students of the Goldsboro High School under the direction of Clifton Britton, producer of stage and radio presentations. These boys and girls have shown a remarkable degree of talent and proficiency in the realm of make-believe. Shown here in rehearsal in the high school studio, members of the Goldmaskers are smoothing out their next production under the capable direction of Mr. Britton. Perhaps more Carolina names will soon be added to the long list of stage, screen, and radio celebrities. Control room technique is another interesting Goldmasker subject. One of the newest and fastest growing industries in North Carolina is that of freezer locker plants. George Dewey is manager of Goldsboro's Waco Corporation. We view the modern processing room. If desired, the company obtains wholesale cuts for processing and locker storage. Power meat saws save time and obtain uniform cuts. Ultraviolet light aids sanitation in the spacious chill room. Experienced meat cutters provide cuts the housewife can handle. Here, Waitus Worrell starts the process. A few expert strokes and a fine ham is ready for the curing room. Pork trimmings make excellent country sausage. The sausage is stuffed before freezing. Various cuts are wrapped in special paper, and then to the quick freeze at 10 below. Now the foods enter the locker room. The labeled packages are placed in proper lockers until needed. Hams, shoulders, and sides are cured to the individual taste of the customer. Or perhaps smoked for real hickory flavor. Customers either dress their own poultry or have it dressed at the plant before freezing. The lobby is used for both the sale of foods and packaging supplies and display of deep freezers sold by Waco. A fresh food supply assured at all times. Concluding our tour of the inner workings of Goldsboro, it's time for the pause that refreshes. We're all familiar with the product and its popularity, so suppose we see where the seemingly endless supply comes from. We start with the sterilization of the bottles at the Barnes Harold Rawlings Company. The filling process is accomplished by mechanical means in an endless procession as the sparkling bottles proceed along the conveyor. Each bottle gets individual, careful inspection. The Goldsboro Coca-Cola Bottling Company, produced by J.L. Wharton, is another of the city's industries that furnishes pleasant employment and contributes to better, more enjoyable living for the people of the community. As an annual tribute to the extensive agricultural life of Goldsboro and its surroundings in Wayne County, Farmers' Day with its festival and gala parade is a definite highlight in the city's activities. A day of pageantry and merrymaking to delight the youngsters of all ages. Everybody takes an interest in the celebration. With the combined efforts of city officials, civic clubs, business organizations, and individuals, The result is a fun festival that does credit to the farmer and his invaluable aid to the economic advancement of Goldsboro. Little wonder that the line of march is overflowing with enthusiastic, cheering spectators. Governor Scott gives the day official sanction by his presence. Everybody loves the martial music of a band, and the talented musicians of the high school bands add much to the procession. Not much comfort on this conveyance. Every section of the country boasts of its beautiful girls, but Goldsboro and Wayne County have positive proof that they have a goodly share of poultry. And still the parade continues, line after line, band after band, and surprise after surprise. None of the spectators leave. If you attended the Farmers' Day Festival Parade, you might be able to find yourself pictured on a rooftop, windowsill, or hanging on some light pole.